Well, hello, fellow travelers. We are on our journey again today, a journey of self-discovery. And of course, we are going to be using the spiritual power tools. And one of the big things that I find out from everyone that has emailed me or asked me for support and help has been the emotional things that you all have been getting into. When we start to be the observer of self and we begin to look at our life and what we're doing and our emotions, which was your homework for last week, was to check out your emotions and see how your emotions and your mind kept going in a circle. It's wonderful to be the observer, because without being the observer of yourself, you can't make any changes because you're on automatic. And we have to stop that automatic cycle that your brain is in, so to speak, and break through it so that you can get some clarity about what is happening in your life. Because as a third-dimensional person, we are very much in automatic. Far more automatic than we ever realized. But now that you're stepping a little bit away from this, you're beginning to see very clearly what your behavior is, what spurs your behavior, what makes you think, what makes you depressed. So you got a lot more information about yourself in supporting the spiritual growth of your soul. A lot more information. So today, we are going to be working on page 44, the Spiritual Thermometer. We've been looking at, of course, the difference between the third and fourth dimension and how to move ourselves from one dimension to the next. It's not an easy process because we are now becoming much more conscious of our evolution of our spiritual self in the process of the third dimension. And in order to work with our emotions and work in them in the highest way, I, for myself, put together the spiritual thermometer here because I found I had to have a measuring stick. So this became my measuring stick in 1969, 1970. And I found it to be the most useful tool in my toolbox, my spiritual toolbox. So, in support of your soul, I'm giving you the spiritual thermometer and helping you to understand how to use it in the best interest of your soul so that you can move more quickly into the higher self and not get stuck in the lower self. You see, we want to live in this now moment where we are consciously standing in the now and not in the past or the future. Not in fear, jealousy, unforgiveness. We start to look at everything from a now moment when we can check ourselves out. The spiritual thermometer, oh my gosh, it helped me so much, and it still helps me because I can use it not only for my own growth, but when I'm with other people and they're talking to me, I can use the invisible spiritual thermometer that's now in my brain and say, where are they coming from? So, with that said, I'm going to talk to you about how to use the spiritual thermometer. So read about it in page 44. But the important thing I want to talk to you today is the fact that it's so easy for us to flip down to a lower level of our human self. And it's very hard for us when we're in the lower levels to push ourselves up to the higher level. I want to just show you, of course, the wonderful spiritual thermometer. And I want to help you to understand when we're down here below the 5, We should not make any decisions. No, no, no. Because if you make a decision, it's usually from fear, jealousy, all the negative emotions, and then we do not think correctly about what is really going on in our life. So, if we're down below a 5 and only we can measure it, we have to measure this within ourselves. No one's going to come over and help you to do this. You have to do it yourself. You have to say, where am I? Am I a 5? Am I a 4? Oh, I'm an 8. Wow, I can go to divine guidance now and listen for the proper answer to whatever situation I'm in or whatever problem I think I'm having or an issue that's here kind of poking me around. So the thing is to practice. Now that you've had certain things that you've been doing, you've committed your will. I will the will of God. I will to will the will of God. That means now I am willing myself to move forward. Powerful tool that we talked about several weeks ago. Then we had to make a commitment to that will, to the will, because your will is very important because it's the power. It's the power that's going to take you forward. If you have a little tiny woohoo will, you're never going to be able to even use the spiritual power tools because you're going to be playing around in the opposites and can't get any clear think. And you're using your will in the wrong way. So look at that will. You are a disciple, a disciplined person. All Jesus' disciples were disciplined. All the teachers in the world teach discipline because it's the most important thing you can do for yourself. Discipline. No one's going to you don't have a mommy, daddy sitting there telling you, don't do this, don't do that, do this. No. You, only you can make a decision and carry it through. Be it a positive decision or a negative decision. You are in charge. You are important to yourself. You are important to your family in helping make positive, wise decisions for not only yourself, but your family. Now, the spiritual power tools not only use it on yourself, but if you're a married person, if you're in some sort of relationship, if you're at work, if you have children, use the spiritual thermometer on them in your mind. So get this spiritual thermometer, vision it, vision it, vision it. So when that child comes home from school and is all upset, you know that that child is below a 5. Now how are you going to take that child that's below a 5 and move it up to a place where you can talk reasonably and support that child, not to stay in that lower zone for the rest of the day? I remember when my children would come home from school, I already had the spiritual thermometer, and I started using it on myself, and then I found out, wow, not only do I need to use it on myself, but I can use it on my children. I can figure out, where are they? My bosses, the bosses I had to say, oh, where is he coming from? Is he coming from his higher self, or is he coming from this lower part of himself that's making a really bad decision because he's in his emotions and he's in fear? How do I hold myself above a 5 and not get involved in the emotional garbage that's happening in someone else's brain? You see, if you can learn to use the spiritual thermometer to support you in every decision you make, you can get divine guidance, because now you've been the observer, you've learned to do meditations, you're disciplining yourself, you're giving yourself an opportunity to still your mind and observe your emotions. That's what we've been working on. And yet, these things that I just named off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, are everything that goes on within us every moment of the day. We need to get out of it. We have to. We have to get out of it. There's nobody else going to get you out of it but you. You are the master. You are the master of your soul. You are the master. Take charge of your life. Take charge of your emotions. Don't let them run you amok. Because if you do, you are going to make some decisions that you're going to be sorry for 2 months from now, 6 months from now, or a year from now. We talked about karma a couple weeks ago. And I talked about the karmic ball. Well, next week, I'm going to talk about the karmic ball, the spiritual thermometer, and how to get off the karmic law using your spiritual thermometer. I want you this week to start to use your spiritual thermometer in every aspect of your life. Embed it in your brain so you are always in target and on top of what's going on. And next week, I'm going to talk about karma again, and I'm going to connect karma with the spiritual thermometer and help you to understand another aspect of all that you are. All that you are is God. You're made out of God dust. Your DNA is programmed to move through many, many cycles, to become consciously aware of your soul and working in the best interest of it. And these spiritual power tools are powerful. They walked me through many, many, many negative emotions. They walked me through many, many unforgivenesses and helped me to do that which was mine to do. And next week, I will be talking about the spiritual karmic law that you are under, and you might as well understand the law that you're under. You got homework, do it. Because my desire for you is to give you the tools that you need to master yourself and become spiritually enlightened within yourself. The enlightenment comes from within by you becoming the master of your fate. Bye-bye for now, and happy homework.